Hello, friends and gamers. My name is Jinx, and welcome to Operation Hats. This is July 1941, the German 11th turn. Let's do a bit of a turn summary for the previous turn, starting with the Germans. The Germans invaded northern England into Scotland and northern England, and, well, they took off a few of the casualties there for the British, but took a couple of their own. Nothing too major, though. We got a little bit more successful than I anticipated we would be. I thought we'd grab the territory and barely hold on to it, and the inevitable counterattack would wipe us off, but we survived with more units than expected. Apart from that, the Germans didn't get up to too much mischief. They shifted some units around once again, shored up our stronger position in Bulgaria, but apart from that, that is effectively it. In the southern regions in Belgian Congo, they moved into, they captured Belgian Congo by passing through Nubia to this territory right here. And that's basically it for the Germans. Honestly, not too much for their turn. It's been kind of a quiet couple turns where they haven't acquired too much income and just been trying to shore up their allies here in the Italians to boost them up a little bit with extra resources, and for their own part, trying to build some higher quality units in the form of heavy armor. But we're continuously short of resources. It's a very dire position to be in right now for the Germans. We've expended a bulk of our resources towards the German Navy, and now we distinctly feel the lack of it for the German armed forces. Turning our attention to the Soviets and what they were up to, they still didn't trigger their attack into any of these areas in the Black Sea. We thought they might have gone for Turkey or our territories here, and they didn't do either one of them. They said that they needed a few more units to make it happen, but they haven't stacked up anymore, so they're probably just waiting to see what the Germans are up to. Apart from that, they shored up their southern position here in southern Iran, and strengthen their positions here in Finland as well. Nothing too dramatic for them on either side. The CCP, for their part, moved back into Xinjiang and did okay there. They captured this territory. I didn't think they took any losses, and just overall a consolidation on a strong point here in this area, leaving Qinghai open. So we'll see how that goes out for them. Turning our attention to the Japanese and what they're up to, the big move by the Japanese was, well, with the absence of the CCP here, they strengthened their position in this area, but they shifted a bulk of their aircraft here and shifted a bulk of their navy forces into Palau over here. From Palau, they have a good little reach into any direction. They can come and attack Calcutta, Malaya, of course. They can go as far as Hawaii, and they can come down to Australia as well. So a bunch of different things that it can do. A strong point. It used to be in version 3, Celebes was a good strong central point, but they shifted the sea zones around, and now Palau can allow a person to hit a lot of these territories with their surprise strike. I should make a quick correction here that this American destroyer goes to Midway over here and leaves. It was initially in sea zone P24, but it's supposed to be in Midway. Alright, so that's what the Japanese were up to on their turn, strengthening their position in Palau and a little bit in the southern areas there too. Now, for their part over here, the the Anzac dispersed their troops a little bit up and down the coast into New South Wales in an inevitable, if there's a surrounding attempt on Sydney, so this would cover them for that fact. All right, British FEC. So they have their forces, of course, in Malaya, and a sizable force. I say this every time, but there's not too much else to report on them. The FEC, for their part, have spread their troops around put a unit into Delhi as well. So a few things like that. Nothing too dramatic for them. Now, the Italians did a bold attack here into Cape Town and were extraordinarily lucky. There was something like 3 infantry and 1 militia here, and we attacked with 6 guys and we only lost 1. 6 guys and a tactical bomber and only lost 1. So that's a very successful Axis turn for a crucial target. Now we didn't expect to capture this one, but we managed to. Well, we did expect to capture it, but with minimal units surviving, and have to be a race against the clock to wait till the French came and recaptured that territory. But we managed to capture it, so we're pretty happy about that. Apart from that, nothing much is going on for the Italians. The British evacuated out of the Mediterranean, and now the Regia Marina is in this position here. And that's basically all they can do at this point. The naval transports came up here, and I don't know why this is shifted here, but for whatever reason it is. I must have accidentally done that. All right, so the Regia Marina came up here, and things are just basically at a hold as the British Commonwealth retreated out of the Mediterranean up into this sea zone, into A27 with the British. Now, from that position, they could still race into this area, and attack our forces, but with a little fewer troops than they would like. They don't have a base here, so 1, 2, their battleships can't participate in the fight here. So that seems to be the case that for right now we have control of the Mediterranean until the Americans come into the fight, and then it'll be likely a 1-2 punch where first the British come in and then the Americans come in strong, or vice versa. It could always be the Americans followed by the British. You get what I mean. So there's different things a person can do. And apart from that, the British did a very successful counterattack into northern England. I believe they lost 2 militia and wiped out 2 medium armor and 2 infantry class units to the cost of only 2 militia lost. So they had quite a successful attack. Let's see, I think collectively, how many units would that be? That's 12 plus another 6. So 18 bucks of my guys lost, 18 IPP's worth of German units lost in exchange for 4 IPP of the British. So they had quite a successful attack there as well. Apart from that, I should mention also too some of the other successes that they had is the Italians. They raided these 2 convoy lines for 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6 raiding dice against these convoy lines, and I think we only took off 1 buck off the enemy. And the Germans, for their part, when they did their own raiding, I don't know how much they took off. I think they took off 5. So yeah, the time of the good raiding, the happy times are over, and now we move on to more crucial bread and potatoes battles. All right, and that covers the entirety of everybody's turn. The Americans, I guess, they didn't do too much except short up their defenses on this side. They have 4 transports here, which is a sizable stack of troops. Just really quite decent what they have going on here. So that means it is, broadly speaking, a kill Germany first strategy with plenty of troops here to race over to this side of the world. And on the Pacific side, just an absence of anything. There's a couple troops out here, a minor fleet of some kind. Hawaii is weakly held, but generally, there's not much else going on in the Pacific theater. The Japanese are masters of their domain over here. So that's the situation. Let's dive into the German turn proper, starting with the technology and share with you guys how that went. So we had 4 dice to roll, and it was on Discord. It's an automated server, automated kind of bot that rolls for it. I type in 4d12 and it rolls 4 dice. So I succeeded on advanced mech. I think our amphibious doctrine moved up. Our long-range aircraft was successful, and lastly, our heavy strat bombers was successful. So 4 out of 4. So quite a happy, successful turn for the tech side of things. Turning our attention to our production, starting in on a new thing. So we have 69 bucks to spend, and we need to go heavy into infantry with the idea that if the Americans are coming after us and the Russians are coming into the war against us, we need to have a lot of forces here. So we're getting 1 Italian fighter, and that's it. The rest of it's just militia and units. We need to try to get as many units as we can on the board. So that's a total of 69 bucks. 2 Marines, 10 infantry, 1 free blue division, 3 militia, another infantry, and 2 militia upgrades, and 2 anti-aircraft guns. This fighter just represents the cost value of this Italian fighter that we're leasing. So that's what's going on. All right, turning our attention to the attacks. Now, we are making a couple convoy raids. So this convoy raiding sub is coming from the Cape of Good Hope, A53, to this position here. We are also going to do a little attack against the Free French in Cameroon. Nothing too major there. We are coming into this area. This medium bomber is going to go, we have long range, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could even go 5, 6, 7 and go into that area. We're going to attack their port here, their dockyard in Gibraltar. That's the plan. This German sub is going to raid over here. This German sub is also going to raid over here in M2, I think it is, or maybe M2. And then we have 3 subs over here. Two of these subs are going to raid out here in the Atlantic. And the final sub is going to move into the Mediterranean over here. So that's what's going on there. I feel like I've gotten everything on this side. We have German transports going to come 1, 2, 3, load up 2 infantry, and drop them off in Sardinia, capturing that territory. All right. I think that's it on that side. We're going to do a little raid against the airbase here in southern England with our Strat bomber. And the enemy has chosen not to scramble. They've expressed that despite them having radar, they feel that the dice have been against them. a little bit lately in a couple of the German attacks, and so they're hesitant to throw themselves in the mix, which is unfortunate. You know, I think the dice go one way and then they go the other way, but it's always a shame to see somebody feel like they've been diced. All right. We do an attack against Belgium, or Netherlands rather, which activates them. So this medium armor is going to come 1, 2, and collectively these guys are all going to go into the Netherlands. That, of course, activates it for the British, and the British will get a couple of units out of the mix there. So I will have to keep that in mind for them. For right now, I'll just put this roundel next to them. All right, we have we're going to send this coastal defense ship, and we're going to attack the Soviets. So our fleet is coming into this position, and we're collectively attacking the Soviets. We're also picking up some dudes on our way. So we're picking up these 2 airborne units, and we're launching Operation Barbarossa against them. A very mild form of Operation Barbarossa. It's a little more than skirmishing into their territory, honestly. So those guys are coming into the fight. We're also sending our airborne unit to go, and since again I have a long-range aircraft, so this air transfer plane is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and land in northern Norway. We're going to capture Murmansk from the enemy. And this strat bomber is going to bomb this factory in Leningrad, hopefully taking some damage against them. And then we're going to do a little attack from Königsberg to Lithuania with a blue division there. And then we have a couple more walk-ons from Bessarabia to southern Ukraine and western Ukraine to that area there as well. And we're going to attack... We're tactically going to attack the Turks. This guy's going to come up from southern Iraq to Azerbaijan. We're tactically attacking the Turks. My thinking is that we'll make them British, make these guys British. And if they're British, then the Russians won't push through this area. If the Russians attack them, then they would stay controlled neutral, but they'd likely wipe out this area. Now they'd be a constant threat, so we thought we'd go after this territory, form a bit of a barrier that the only way that they can attack our regions here is by sea, unless they want to go to war against the Allies. So that's the idea. So we're going to send 4 infantry, 2 cavalry is going to come into this area as well, another 2 cavalry from Romania. We're going to also send in... We're also going to send in some aircraft. These aircraft happen to be able to reach 1, 2, 3, 4, and can attack that territory as well. It'll be weakly held. You know, the Russians may very easily just come swinging into the mix and try to take us out, but hopefully they won't. Hopefully they won't. That's all we have to say about that. All right, and that's it. Maybe they have enough other things on their mind. Keep in mind, too, with Operation Barbarossa, they could only recover 1 territory. That's the most likely candidate, but we'll have to see how that goes. All right, so I think we've laid ourselves up with a few attacks. Let's start with our... Oh, one more over here. This submarine is going to come 1, 2, 3, go here. It was meant to happen before we go to war against the Netherlands, so hopefully that still applies. I don't think they can impede our progress anyways, but we'll go with that. All right, let's attack this convoy line here for the FAC. Red is attacker, blue defender, and that's a neutral. We didn't get anything there. And now we do an attack on the southern East Africa line here. Red is attacker, blue defender. Nothing on that one. All our convoy raids are just historically really bad. Okay, rolling the first set in the Mediterranean. Ah, we got 1 damage there against the enemy. Okay, just because we have, what's it called? Advanced submarines, so we get that little +1. And 1 there as well. Okay. Last chance. Last chance. Nothing there. All right, 2 damage. That's all we can hope for. I mean, it's a slow whittling away of their resources, but at only 2 damage, that's next to nothing. It's a drop in the bucket, really. Okay, we'll roll this, but we got +3 on these ones. Okay, so that's 8 minus 4 is 4 damage. Four damage, and we'll roll for the next set here. So in this one, we only did 1 damage. Okay, and it doesn't matter too much where this damage occurs, but I'm going to put it on this line up here. That's 5 damage for that one up there. So that's not a bad roll altogether, but honestly, without these advanced subs, it would be next to useless to us, right? So that's the way it is. So we'll take off that damage right away here from the enemy. 8, did I say? 5, 6, 7. Just 7 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That leaves them with $11 to spend on the subsequent turn. Alright, now we do some... Let's do this little bombing run over here. I thought I seen a dice 12 somewhere. Oh yes, I should also state that I rolled for the attacking forces in... Sorry, the recruitment rolls for Vichy as well as these guys, so there'll be some non-combat movement for those guys as well. Alright, so we'll do for our little bombing run here first on a dice 6, and then the response here for the dockyard is a dice 3 or dice 12, 3 or less for the anti-aircraft. That's a 9. Okay, so we managed to survive and caused 4 damage against the enemy. Okay. Alright, that might have to do. Okay, that's damaged. And I don't know... Well, we'll have to leave it up to the FAC what to do with this transport. I can't remember exactly what occurs in that situation. I think they just either have a choice to get ejected out or not. I can't recall. Let's do this little attack up here. I get 2 dice rolls for attacking, and then the enemy, of course, gets a roll at 3 in defense. So that's a 9 damage. That's pretty good. Of course, the response is going to be... might be pretty powerful. If you could tell, my voice is a little off. I just woke up, a few minutes ago. The kids are still having breakfast. I intended on doing this video last night, but I didn't get around to it. So 9 damage there. It was actually my birthday last night as well, so, it feels kind of odd to, being a bit of a family man. I didn't want to spend my entire birthday just ignoring my family. It's nice to do some fun things together with them, so that's why I didn't get around to doing my turn, gentlemen. Come on. Alright. I gotta just delete this whole dang thing. I don't know why it's not working for me. Okay. We'll move this. Let's do it the old-fashioned way. If we can get around to it. Okay. Cologne. Paste. Paste. There's 9 damage. Alright, now for the response. Rolling at 3 or less for the inherent anti-aircraft. There's a success. They took off our strap bomber. Youch, but that's the way she goes. Alright, let's drag these dice over to our raid here against Leningrad. At the end of the day, it only cost, what is it, $6 to build an airfield? This one's probably going to stay damaged the rest of the game. Alright, going into this battle here. There's a 10. Nice. Okay, delete that. Let's see if this factory, this unit survives. Okay, the response is 3 or less. Oh, lost both strap bombers. Ouch, that's no good. Alright, well, yeah, yeah, that's rough. But that's the way she goes. Can't win them all, hey? Alright. So, that goes there. What else do we need to do? Okay, we'll start in on some of these attacks. This one right here. So, the red is attacking at 3 because Operation Barbarossa gives us +1, and the defense is at 3 because it's -1. So, it's a coin toss either way. There's round 1, there's round 2, there's round 3. Success. Okay. Now this is a walk-on here. This is also a walk-on. Alright, let's do this naval battle here. Now, I've separated into what's attacking and also informed my opponent. These guys are attacking and the coastal defense ship are attacking his ship forces, and these 3 transports and these 3 heavy cruisers are doing amphibious assaults into southern Finland. That's what's going on this turn. Oh, one more attack coming from Lapland out of here. Okay. All right, so we have a little battle. My opponent has chosen, because of the Barbarossa thing, his units don't get to, I believe his units don't get to get a plus, they don't get to roll their full values, so it's just a land force attack. So I don't know if I have explained that correctly, but basically what I'm saying is that all his units, including his naval, roll -1, whereas mine, I believe, roll +1 as well. Let's just double check that so I didn't put some mistruths out there. German land and air. So I don't get +1, but all Soviet units get -1. Okay, so we have our standard values and he has extra. So we're gonna roll it all up here. Let me quickly review because I don't want to send in the wrong amount of troops. I'm not sure if I told him that I'm sending in. Yeah, I did send the CDS. Good, good, good. Okay, so here's the 3 battleships with 2 successes. And now here's the coastal defense ship. Miss. And lastly, we have our torpedo boat at 2. Oh, almost. So 2 hits. The opponent, for their part, has 2 destroyers and 1 light cruiser. Now the 2 destroyers will be rolling at 3s, and the light cruiser at 4. And they have 1 success, so one of our ships is going to be damaged. Okay. We go into round 2, and round 2 we have 2 battleships, and they have 1 light cruiser left. So 2 battleships, and then we have 1 damaged battleship at 6, and that's a success. All right. I think that first round was a success too. I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter. We have no. I'm gonna just double check. Here's my torpedo boat destroyer, miss, and coastal defense ship at 4, miss. So I think I had two hits on the first round. Okay, and the enemy has just one light cruiser at 4, miss. All right, so we suffered 1 damage, but took out the enemy. All right, so these guys are out. The subs, he could have participated with the subs, with the idea in mind that his subs would get first strike since I don't have a destroyer present, but he chose not to. There, 1 damage ship. All right, and now we do the amphibious assault. So we have 3 dice. I delete those dice. I always delete the dice, don't I? Dang it. Okay, so we have 3 coastal bombardments here. And we also have swampland we're going into. And I can't remember the numbers for swampland. Jungle, 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 mountain, river, land, desert, jungle, marsh. Vehicle class is -2. So our tanks will be at -2 just for the first round, which doesn't matter because the first round we're not our tanks is not amphibious assaulting. So here's our 3 coastal defense attacks at 2, no hits, and then we have 4 land units attacking on the first round. Infantry class rather, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make that 5. No hits. Actually, 1 hit. 1 hit because we got a +1 on the first round. 1 hit against the enemy, and then we have the enemy responding. Okay. So they have 2 motorized at 3. 1 hit, so we take off our marine, and 1 tank at 1, I believe. 9. So we take off our marine. And I said we had 1 hit against them, so they take off their tank. Okay. Now round 2 begins. We have 4 guys left over here. 4 at 3. 2 hits. I think that's all we need. And they have 2 at 3. Okay, missed. So we managed to capture southern Finland from the enemy. with these 3 dudes plus this guy and a heavy armor. All right. Okay. And I think the big crucial attack, we'll recover this for Italy. Let me just change some stuff here on the map before I forget. So Italy goes up by 1. Britain goes down by 1. We also captured Congo, so French go down by 1. And the Germans go up by 1. That's for this one here. Then we have 1 attack here. So we took off so far 1, 2, 3 bucks from the enemy, 4, 5, 5 from the Russians down. So 57 brings us to 62, and they go down by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 48. Okay, we still have a couple moves that we have in store. We have this one here from southern Iran, 1 infantry going to Azerbaijan. Now, he has just a militia, so let's roll this one out. 2 against his 1. Round 1 is nothing. Round 2, nothing. Round 3, this could be a long fight. That's nothing. His militia would normally be at 2, but it's Operation Barbarossa time. Nothing there. He succeeded. He wiped out my guy. Ouch, that's not so good. Alright. So now we have a bigger battle occurring in this neck of the woods. So, first strike by the enemy. They have two fortress rolls at 4, I believe. 1 hit. And we take off an infantry. Actually, you know what? I think we might take off a cavalry. Yeah. Alright. And then we go into the battle proper. So for our forces, we have 3 cavalry at 2. So let's roll those out first. Missed on the cavalry. And then for the infantry, those would all be at 1, so nothing there. And then we have 2 fighters at 6. 1 hit, and 1 tactical at 7. So 2 hits total on our first round. And the enemy has 3. Two hits against us. So I'm going to take off 2 more cavalry. All right. I have to double check there the rules. I don't remember what they rolled for fortress. I might have actually done it thinking the Maginot. Okay, we take off 2 hits from the enemy. Oops, just deleted our dice there. Okay, round 2 attack. 4 infantry at 1 with 1 hit. Just in case, 1 cavalry at 2. And we have 2 fighters. 1 and 2. Okay, succeeded there. I just thought of something that I didn't cover for. Alright, we'll leave it at that. I just thought of something. It's still not too late to change this. There. Okay, so we managed to wipe them out. I don't know if I rolled for their defense. Let's roll for their defense. They would still have a... I might have. My mind got distracted here. 10, they missed. So we take out this guy. Okay. We've captured that territory. And I hope I didn't delete anything extra there. And now we have... I think everything goes, right? Everything goes. So these guys land here. Cavalry lands here. Aircraft are going to be landing here. This will be a British destroyer now. Let's see if I can steal one from here. Oops, wrong one. British destroyer there. Okay, and then up here we have another torpedo boat destroyer and a coastal defense ship. So I'm not going to grab those. I'm just going to leave that there as is. But I will grab a roundel here. Okay, that's what's going on there. British income goes up by 1, and Germans go up by 2. 1, 2, 64. All right, now let's do a quick review of all our stuff for combat. Make sure I didn't miss anything. If anything is still marked in red, then it would still be applicable. Oh, yeah, okay, here we have the Netherlands. So, and again, I deleted the dice. No worries there, no worries there. Oh, there's some up there, okay. All right, so no mountainous terrain, no river penalty. We have 3 infantry crossings, so that's 3 at 2. No hits there. We have heavy armor, I believe that's at 8, and then a regular one at 6. And we made it. That's a 6 and a 3. So 2 hits against the enemy. Now the enemy has a sizable force here. Let's see, they have 3 infantry at 4. 1 hit, and then 1 militia at 2. 2 hits, nice. That's a bit of a powerful attack on their part. But we scored 2 hits on the enemy, so they'll take off a militia and one of these guys. Okay, now we go 1 infantry on our end, 1 hit, and then medium armor at 6 or less. That's a 5, and a heavy armor. Miss. So 2 hits, that's all we need. The enemy responds with 2 rolls. Miss, miss, miss. That's a 6 and a 7. That could have done some damage against us for sure. Okay, so we take off the remaining 2 dudes here. All right. That concludes that battle. I think that's it across the board. Yeah, I believe that's it across the board. Okay, now we move to non-combat. So we have our battle cruiser. We moved it off of raiding mode 1, 2, 3. It comes over here to help defend this transport here. We have this infantry coming to Upper Egypt. We have these 3 guys coming here, plus the anti-aircraft gun. Now, one quick thing is this Deutsches Afrika Korps artillery is going to be railed, but then I think it can go onto the rivers as well. I need to double check the rules, but there's a river passing through here, and I believe it can participate in a move that direction. Okay, these 3 aircraft are landing here. This infantry is walking south. This one's going to Bessarabia. These guys are coming into Romania. This infantry is walking to East Poland. That looks like all the yellows on this side. This guy's going to be railed out to... You know what? This guy doesn't need to be railed anymore. Does he? No, he doesn't. But heck, we're going to rail him anyways. Or will we? I think instead we're going to rail this guy here to Königsberg. And... Oh yeah, because my airplanes didn't survive. These will just march. He railed there, yeah, okay. So that's 1 rail used. We'll worry about that a little bit later. Okay, these 3 aircraft have to land somewhere. They're gonna land here, I think. Okay, these guys hang out here. Actually, we'll send 1 infantry here. No, we'll keep him here. I don't really know what the best course of action is, because these guys could come across and hit these guys as well. No, I have a plan. See, yeah, anyways. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Okay, this medium bomber can land over here in northern England, or northern Italy. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Should work because we have an airbase plus that. Seaplane is going to go one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. I believe it can go as far as eight. So it goes up there. This cavalry is going to go 2 spots to here. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that situation. I mean, as happy as a person could be. I was definitely not as successful as I was in previous turns, where I did some damage. I lost both strat bombers. It was bound to happen. I've been pretty successful doing some I've been successful doing my strat rating so far. This is one, two, one, two. I think there's three down here, four. It was bound to happen. Five. It was bound to happen eventually that I lost both units in that. It's only a 25% chance per turn, but it stacks up. If I get 4 missions per strat bomber, then that's about adequate. And how many did I get? One, two, three. Three with one, and one, two with the other one. So I definitely below average in that regards. All right, before I forget, I'm going to move some of the nationalist units. This heavy cruiser is going to come across to import over here. I placed these 2 militia over here as part of the recruitment, and these units are all going to be railed across, if that works to rail as a neutral nation. I believe it does, to this position here. So we have a few troops hanging out. There's that. Okay, I don't think I can yammer on any longer here. I'm going to go ahead and delete some of this stuff and call that good. See, right now, he could still launch his amphibious assault against my forces here, but he would have to use it as his only move for Operation Barbarossa. The other operation just can't fly at this point. I hope I counted this one in there. Let's double check if the income is correct. Okay, keep in mind 18 for those guys, 48 and 64. 18, 48, 64. 18, 48, 66. So I probably didn't count for one. And the Free French dropped down. So, yeah, 66. All right, we'll go ahead and place our units on the board. Okay, we'll delete this guy. We'll start. Come on. There we go. Bring these guys a little closer to where the action is. Okay, these 2 Marines we'll put over here in East Germany. This anti-aircraft gun we'll put... Oh, sorry, I forgot my railing, if that's cool with everybody still. Alright, so I don't know if I moved anything yet. Let me have a quick study. I railed 1 unit up there. Okay, so the second rail is going to move this German anti-aircraft gun all the way to Normandy. All the way to Normandy there. That's 1, 2, 3 is going to rail this guy to Bulgaria. 3. And I have 1 more I can rail. I can non-combat move this fella and rail this guy to this position, I suppose. That seems about right. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that situation. As happy as I could be anyways, as I said in the past. Okay, this airplane shows up over here in northern Italy, and then we're going to build an anti-aircraft gun in Paris. We are going to build a militia in Normandy. Yeah, these 2 Marines are going to be built over here. I'm going to take these to the Middle East. We're building 1 infantry in Syria. We are upgrading an infantry here in southern Iran. Oh, I see. Upgrading an infantry in southern Iran, so that's going to duplicate this guy and delete this guy. And then we build that guy. Going to upgrade this infantry here as well. So that deletes this one. And then we have, I had 4 militia, so upgrade, upgrade, militia, militia. So these guys would get deleted. Yeah, I think that's accurate. Okay, this guy stays here. Anything that this destroyer can hit? I don't think so. He could block this position here. So what I'll do... Yeah, this is tough. This destroyer should have gone after that. This guy, for sure. He'll come in here. I should have. I really should have gone after this guy. Well, I have a fighter protecting this one to some extent. And this battle over here could perhaps be conducted. Do I have any other ships that were unused this turn? Not really. But yeah, this guy's going to cause us some grief. Because he's going to either attack our forces in Tyrrhenian Sea or come in here and attempt to block our forces. You know what? I don't think he could block. I'll have to double check on this one, but this is one of those features. You can just draw a little X around this one because it's one of 2 options here. Either he will be in this position or be in this position. I'll draw a line because there's a little question that needs to be asked. Because oftentimes these ships start, if they're in port but not blockaded in, they either start in the position or as if they're in the sea zone and the ship can't attack us directly, something like that. So in that case, you'd effectively be able to start here, go 1, 2, 3, and potentially launch an attack against Gibraltar. So I'll have to see if that works or not. Okay, anyways, moving on. We've done one little thing there. Our second one will be we'll build an anti-aircraft gun here. Of course, we get our regular dude up in here. And then we get an infantry parked here. Let's put infantry here as well. I'm going to put 5 guys here and these 2 guys here, as well as I suppose we'll do something like this. Kind of cover our bases to some extent. All right, that is it for our purchases. That's it for basically everything I could think of. There's only this question that needs to be asked, and then we move on from that point. Good stuff. All right, let's go over to our purchases, 66 bucks. I believe we still have an extra 10, so 76 now. Is that right? 76, yeah. $76 to spend on the subsequent turn. All right, gentlemen, thank you all for watching. Yeah, it's been a bit of a interesting turn and not the greatest turn for Germany, having lost 2 strat bombers. That's pretty costly for us. But thank you all for watching. Cheers.